Hello and welcome to Ghost Chat and Other Paranormal Things. I'm your host, Electric Elisa.
I am your co-host, Jody. Hello.
And today we also have Joe Quillsong back to talk about the Wetiko and maybe some other things will spawn out of that too. And if you've been listening to our podcast, you'll remember Joe from another show we did. So welcome again.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So first, I want to spell Wetiko for everybody because it may sound, you know how things sound sometimes when you say them, especially if I have like this cold respiratory thing going on. But Wetiko is Wetiko is what I found.
Okay. Nice.
So, and we were chit-chatting just a little before we started recording about, the things that you can find on Wetiko, but there's a lot more to it. So I'm gonna let Joe kind of take over with what is a Wetiko?
Wetiko is a spirit. It's like a spirit that is connected to hunger. There's a lot of things that I read of one guy. His name's Paul Levy. He has books about he has like 3 or 4 of them, and spelling Wetiko, and he has about healing from it, and he talks about it in a macro sense in the world and how affecting the world, our consumption, and these things that go along with it, with devouring life and taking from the earth, and what toxins it leaves behind in the mind, as a mind virus, as you said earlier, about how it affects something in the mind. Well, the spirit infects the mind. That's the spirit. That's how, if you look in spirit, if you want to talk about spiritual things is not in a physical sense,
Right.
How we see in the movies, now we see demons, and they have these visuals to them, you see fairies, you see these little people and these imagery, but that's movies, that's
Right.
where you haven't, it's entertainment. Throughout the ages, we entertain ourselves with darkness. It takes darkness to create entertainment, visual. You have to have a dark screen, and then the first dark screen you have, we're going to take it to back. What to go is what spirit is looking in the night sky and then coming up with your imagination takes form. And from the night sky, we have televisions that do the same thing. This is darkness that starts, and then you have pixelated light that comes through, just like stars, and it creates this imagery, and then this imagery, before we connect the dots in the sky, and we make imagery, and then we tell the stories of the human experience spiritually, the morals and fables and all these things come out of it. Same thing with the television. It's a programming tool, the first programming tool, the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Like that's the ancient mystics used to look in the puddle, and in the dark, or polish obsidian in the cave and then shine it, polish it to a perfect reflection. And then you take that sin, you go into the darkness, and then you console with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how they came up with the scrying mirrors.
Yeah, well, you're scrying with what? You're scrying with some spirit but that starts with you.
Right.
You have to look at yourself before you open the door to something else. You have to face something, So when you got Wetiko or Wendigo, is the monster. It's the fable, of what happens, what you turn into after you devour, let's say, yourself, and then someone else, And the monster and the zombie is a type of Wendigo, it devours, it eats Yeah, it needs substance. The vampire needs other flesh. It needs itself. But at first, it needs itself to devour itself. It's the Ouroboros. It's like
To become the monster.
yeah, consuming. Yeah, you become the monster if it's out of control. If it's something that you don't understand. It could be something rewarding to face yourself and face your darkness. Your like Carl Jung talked about your shadow.
Yes.
All these things are related. It's like we like to separate ourselves on it. Humankind likes to separate and alienate, each other from the concepts. But we're all the same. We're on the same bead floating in darkness, So they would just have different names, for spiritual things, So what the Wetiko is this is the darkness inside of ourselves, and how we how we use the earth, because we're separate in our mind from it, if we
Yeah.
separate from the mind from it, because we don't have the roots anymore, it's set us free to choose. And that's in the Bible too. It talks about that God lets you have the freedom of choice and freedom of, to make a choice, that the tree doesn't make the choice. Its roots is in the ground, the roots is in the earth, we have this choice to be a seed, to move and the way we want, so through those choices, you have area where you can make dark choices, and those dark choices has consequences. Like any other choice does, but dark choices have dark consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're like facing right now, and humankind's facing a very dark time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing around with forces, where you don't understand. We never did understand them. But
Right.
we are infected by the Wetiko, because every choice we made is knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The choices we make is through survival, they put us in a state of loneliness, and then they mine us. They mine our minds. They mine our spirit, through the loneliness, through the separation. That's
right.
That's Wetiko on a grand scale. When you look at the Algonquin tales you look at history, you can look up stuff in Canada and all kinds. There's stories, scary, scary stories. You're wondering why they didn't make it into heavy movies, but there are stories in history about Wetiko that are terrifying. One case is about Joseph and Jack Fiddler. They were like a Cree. They were called, I think they were Métis Cree, and Métis are mixed, I think, and the Fiddlers, they're mixed with white, and I think that they were passed on. They were medicine men, and their medicine was Wetiko medicine. They were exorcists in
Interesting.
terms. Yeah, you can look it up and read about it. And it's a case and what happened at a time during the fur trade. What weeks ago took place, in the first Europeans that had to colonize had to deal with this, was they call it a psychosis. There's a name for it, Wetiko of psychosis. And what these medicine men did was go through these clans, because there was an outbreak a week ago, psychosis. There was an outbreak, and these grandfathers teaching another generation how to take out the problem, exercise the problem, and it was through murder.
Wow.
Yeah, because they had to kill the person who was infected by it and chop up the body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because the person stepped the boundaries of humanity and they ate another person. So it's about cannibalism.
Yeah.
Because what happened was the colonizers came to America, to Canada, the northern, through the northeast, and in the fur trade. And of course, they're taking out all the animals and hunting grounds and, taking out the tribes and the clans in the area. So these people were having hard times and they couldn't find food. They were starving. Some people were isolated. too,
Mm.
from other people that can help them, because, not, and cold weather and all these things mixed up together, and then you have a problem with cannibalism. So that's a case too. There was another case also about a man who was prominent in his community, a native man who was prominent in his community, and he went through a psychosis himself. Went to go psychosis, and I think he ate his family, and he went to
Lord.
court.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
you have to read about it. It's a few cases you could probably bump across it, but and he went to court for it, and one of these cats were let go because of it, like insanity, because of psychosis, or what's called psychosis. They had to give it a scientific name. They couldn't look at the spiritual implications of it. They couldn't look at what colonization does to native people,
Right.
but what they went to go, or we to go, or whatever, come from another place. And it's like a virus, because it's going to come over through air and water, just like any other virus does,
Right.
and it came over here from another place, another place is called Europe, where they were doing it. It was already rampant over there. And there's different, I see, and when I'm looking at different cultures all through the world, throughout time and history, where this devours civilizations. Once you dabble into civilization, you have already started with we to go processing. There's already debated. The moment you dig it in the ground, Nebuchadnezzar went through it. He became the monster. He was like digging in the ground, growing hair, fur, and shit.
Right.
It's all throughout history. You see it.
How do you combat that?
I mean, personally, like I said, Paul Levy's a good guy, man. And his books are awesome. I mean, he has one about healing, and he talks about it's personal. It starts with yourself. You have like let's take basic things that we go through. Eating disorders, sexual habits, stuff like that, where you have to, where you're just feeding a void that, it's not healthy, you know, you're taking too much in, you're cutting it out of your life and learning how to find a more healthier way to deal with things,
Mhm.
you know, that it starts with a personal. That's the only way really you can do it. It starts personal, and then passing it on to family members and teaching others how, not about these things, the names and stuff. It's just basic things about love and family, which a lot of Western Occidental concepts is like you have to take away that it's separate. You have to separate family and separate in some form of way the separation from the true spirit of a family, to really make it a patriarchal thing or whatever it may be in the eras. We deal with that now. A patriarchal thing is a forcing the will upon people, when we are like woman and man, always,
Mhm.
we're transgender in the womb.
Yeah.
You know, in the womb, we are both things. We're women is just as we are a man, and then we're men just as we are a woman, We experience all things inside the womb, inside the darkness. We experience being every animal.
Wow.
We experience being every sex. We experience being a lizard. We experience being an aquatic being. We experience being other mammals. If you look at a baby form, it looks like an animal. It has morphs into what it's supposed to be when it comes out.
Mhm.
You know. So, like I said, these things, no understanding the universe is very key to combating anything. It's know thyself. It's
Right.
like it's the mantra on the mysteries. So before you can know the universe, know anything in the darkness, you gotta know yourself. Then you have light, and then you shine light upon it. But we're in a dangerous time right now. It's like there is no stopping what needs to happen now.
Mhm.
We had time. We had the time to do it. Humankind was alienated itself in a state of loneliness. So now we have to deal with it, and we have to go through it. We're not going to see everything. We're older, so we're not going to see. The generations to come are going to have to deal with these things,
Yeah.
war and hunger, and they're going to have to deal with the Wetiko, and find a simpler way. And when it's simple again. So what does that mean? Most of the population's going to go, and you could go back to normal, I hear it all the time. There's people dying, and we're not going to have children. People not having children, the birth rate is going down. I mean, I see children being born every day in the hood.
Yeah.
There's going to be people.
Yeah.
Some other people are disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we got to go back to simple things again, back to like respecting nature,
Yeah.
we're not connected anymore.
Maybe that's why you always hear, and I've even said it before, and Brian has said it, and how when things were simpler, it was, back then. So each generation somewhat, I think, recognizes that things have gotten a little too much.
Yeah. Well, we're also hypnotized by the light, the artificial.
Mm-hmm.
We're hypnotized by it. We can't even find simple in our lives anymore without being invaded. There's a different type of colonizer out, and it's on a cell phone, and it's colonizing our minds. It's taking place, putting flags up right inside our heads and our spirit, just right there. There's a new land. It's in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new terra incognito. It's in our minds now. There's nowhere else to explore on Earth. We know every corner of this place just about. Maybe not the deepest parts of the sea, but we know pretty much what's there. But now that's up in the mind now. There's no other place to go. They're talking about Mars and stuff like that. It's crazy talk.
Yeah. I don't see that happening in our lifetime.
Right, you're gonna take this shit show to space.
Yeah.
And that's really dumb.
No.
And your family's killing each other, and they don't even know how to love each other, and then you're gonna take that shit, space. That's that Wetiko is the psychosis. That's that Wetiko. That's this madness, and they're gonna try to go to space, and that's what they're gonna do, right? So what's it gonna take to go to space? Everything. They'll suck the planetary resources to go there.
Right.
Yikes.
Suck everything dry. It's already been sucking us dry to go there.
Yeah.
I have no desire to go to space.
No.
Go to space.
Mine.
They want you to stay right here and be a peasant and suffer while they get on their plane. They think they're gonna go where they're away from us and dictate, somewhere else, high towers. That's what Babel is, right? Great. You have these great towers, massive towers, watch towers looking down upon satellites in the sky looking down upon. That's how you have, dominion over others, over nature. Yeah. So we're in trouble. And if you really look at it, we're in trouble when it comes to that kind of thing. But then there's a light side. There's a beautiful side to life too. Is that this is what being alive is about. Going through shit.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful too. Go pains. I wrote my I shoot a bow. I'm a bow hunter, and I got a rotated cuff tear a little bit.
Oh.
Worked it hard this year, I got pains waking up in the morning. Got rice and that older, but
Same.
life. That's life and death, man. Accepted. It's beautiful. You get to live. I have a lot of people. I have a son that's dead. He died.
Oh, sorry.
One of my sons, and you don't get to experience pain of getting old. He died when you were young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't get that. You don't get the pain and suffering of life. That's part of
Right.
what life is. Going through these things in our world and our societies and civilizations, so called. This has been going on from time immemorial. It's always there. It's what humans do. We dig.
Right.
We find, and then we don't want it. And next thing you know, a dolphin's got a straw in its nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, I mean, like I said, I could go on and on and on.
I know.
You know.
But
these-
you bring up nature and also dolphins, and it makes me remember a friend of mine who was swimming in the ocean somewhere in California, and she was swimming and she saw fins and she thought, shit, I'm gonna die. It was dolphins.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of them, there was like a bunch of them, and then they were fine. She was fine. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, I went through that kind of feeling too. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
I was in a tornado when I was a kid. Yeah, traveling with my family in the South. We were going down to Kentucky from New York City, and it got caught up in a tornado. Lifted up the car. Thought it was the end of the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought it was the end of the world. Changed how.
Yeah.
When I lived through it, I realized what God was, and that God was a tornado.
Wow.
And then I didn't have fear of death, and then I went crazy.
Yeah.
The moon and threw bricks at the same time. Yeah.
How did that end with the tornado picking up the car?
It moved it, blew out the windows, pressure. Blew out the windows.
Yikes.
Moved the car. You see things. You see, I saw a cow move by. No, just kidding.
Oh, just like the movie. Crazy.
No, I just kidding.
Wow.
But yeah, it was, you don't see anything really,
No.
You don't see anything. It was right in the middle of it. You don't see nothing. You just see shit swirling all around.
Swirling, yeah. I've been through a couple of tornadoes being from Kansas.
Yeah. Hitting the car, you
Right.
tree branches and shit. You hit the car. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's insanity. It's a big insanity whirlwind.
Yeah. And you realize what power is,
Oh my gosh, I know.
What really is power? What is power? And that's power. The tornadoes.
Oh, it is.
What we do is some bullshit way of saying power, because you beat up on somebody who's working class, Yeah. Nature. That's why I love it. I was in a swamp yesterday with a friend. We went small game hunting, but went out in the swamp and it's
wow.
It's swamp, almost lost my boot.
Oh no.
Stepping in the muck. You gotta watch your step. Make sure ain't no alligators around and snakes.
Ooh.
Florida's, man, you look outside when you lived in Florida, so and it's like, you see it's palm trees, it's manicured. But when you go out into the bush, it looks crazy. Hold on, let me see if I can get a picture for you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something else. It's like trees are unbound. They do what they do, The oaks are like all over, man. It's canopies and, so you go through the swamp and it's like wild. You see the water line, and the water line is like 6 feet high where water reached, when it floods out,
Wow.
Yeah. I remember there was a dog park. One of the dog parks, I took the dogs, and it was really pretty.
Look how the trees
Oh
grow.
my God.
Yeah.
That looks haunted.
Yeah.
It probably is.
Hey.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a park, and we were walking around, and I remember it was, I think there was an alligator.
That's me in the look, check it out. Look at the, you can see the water lines.
Yeah.
How high they are. Where it's dark. Yeah. Yeah, that's just, the swamp is beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It's stinky. It kind of smells like, how can I explain it? Like this, you have the sweet smell, like a sweet grass.
Oh, okay.
And then right there at the same moment of time, you smell this sweetness. It smells like shit.
Lord.
That's the swamp.
Yeah.
That's the swamp. It's the muck. It's the bog.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you go through it, trample through it. Then it's hard, and you're getting stuck in areas you don't want to go through it too deep water. You don't know, so you want to go around it, try to find a way out. And then you find your way out, and then suddenly it opens up, and it's a little meadow. It's inside the swamp. It's muggy. It's hot. You're sweating. Then suddenly you're out, and it opens up. And it's big oaks, and there's a breeze hits you, cool breeze. And that's what life. That's life. That's life. That's what life is. And life is going through it, and then finding a place where it's a meadow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a poem here.
Okay.
But anyways,
is this one you wrote?
Yeah, I wrote this. Okay. This is one way to defeat these kind of dark things inside, and also finding a place where, what you're doing it already. I know you're doing it. This podcast is a healing thing. Sorry, I couldn't get on the other times.
That's okay. We have other episodes coming up.
Oh yeah. I got to finish sharing this dog park story as well.
The dog park.
Lisa was saying something. The dog park.
There. It wasn't a swamp, but I think there was an alligator there one time.
Oh Lord.
And there was tons of people there with their dogs, and it's really beautiful too. I took a bunch of pictures.
Oh wow.
It's weird because the trees do that. What he showed.
Yeah.
They don't let it happen outside of these in parks. It really, like with WMA, wildlife management areas, and because you have to manicure it. You don't want these big tree branches falling down, murdering a whole little family.
Right.
But they do arch over, and a bunch of stuff hangs down. And
dude, I was up in I go to Canada hunt with my brother, so we were bear hunting this year. So we're in this swamp in Canada. There's swamps. There's just no alligators. But we're in the swamp, in this wetlands, and the decay, everything's spongy in Canada. So you're walking on this carpet. My brother said, "You gotta take a shit, man. Just use that right there. It's moss, and it's like it's the coolest, most beautiful." So I used it one day, and I was like, "Man, this is the best toilet paper I have ever had."
Wow.
So the Wetiko start to take over our mind. Oh, we could like package this shit and sell it. Not just anyways. Yeah. So we're like in hunting up there, and you see these trees, just wind hits it, and it's all dead. It's a dead forest. The whole thing, just about, except for low in the ground, it's green. It's everywhere, But you hear the wind, and you hear the cracking of all these trees, and you have to watch it because they're starting to break over, and they can fall on you. You see them everywhere. It's wild, man.
Wow.
I go every year to see with my brother, and we go bow hunting there. Yeah.
Nice.
I love doing that. I love being with family.
Yeah.
And camping out in the cold, freezing, something primal about it. That's what I started to understand more, is when I started to hunt. I started to understand the old way. Like, this is it. This is, this is how you commune with your family, how you commune with nature, you connect. It doesn't have to be in hunting and harvesting, killing. It could be just being out there and camping and being out away from all the noise. All the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
all right.
Back to you.
Let's hear your poem.
Okay. Well, I was going to do a little TikTok video with this, but.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just a shred. If you're going to be addicted to anything, be an addict. Being alive is a free fall for everyone. Be obsessed with your cuts long after the scabs fall off. Look closer. There's a valley, so kiss your scars. Only you own your skin. Try not to be hypnotized by your echoes. Repetition drives an arrow into the heart of it all. Be enamored by your clumsiness. You kick the hardest things because the soft things bruise. Asteroids crash into the earth and sun. These craters adorn the moon, so be a star. The universe will burn for a flower to grow. You are beautiful even though you're crumbling. Become dust. Inhale it and set adrift into eternity.
Nice.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's good.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make your TikTok video with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something with it. Do some imagery with it. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, part of Feral Chapel. Me and my nephew have a project that we're working on called the Feral Chapel.
Oh, wow.
And then it's music and poetry and art and storytelling as a story.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and what do y'all think about
That's mind-blowing.
The state of the world and what we're going through personally, being observers of it all?
I feel helpless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, but this is what makes it better, though. Us communing with people and connecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's vital. It's imperative to connect. You have to.
Yes, I would agree. I always recommend people connect on Signal too.
Yeah.
Signal.
Yeah. These technologies, as part of the problem, but also part of the solution.
Yeah.
This kind of like the serpent, the serpent's knowledge of poison, it's kind of, you get bit by a snake, you have to use the same poison to save you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. I see people the government thinks they're gonna save us, from ourselves, It's that, if you take away this, you take away that, take away taxes from people, it's like, yeah, take away taxes. See how fine, you do that stupid shit and see what happens.
Yeah.
I watched this. I mean, like I said, we're in the midst of a civilization. It's already established. This is what it is. We live inside the body of something now, forced or not. And it has to die the way it needs to go. But reality is, we live in a place where it's a fine line. I watched this called Rats, and it's about this man in New York City, and what he does is he gets rats, and that's how politics sees it. This guy's in the subway getting rats. What do we need to give money to this guy for?
Yes.
And he's going on like, I need help, dude. I got to get these rats. Why? It's because these guys are gonna start plagues. I stopped 2 of them already.
Wow.
And I'm fighting to get funding, and I'm only here to get government socialist funding to help me in the subway. I'm going in the dark subway, trying to catch rats by myself and and take ticks or whatever is on them, mites and fleas off of them, and study them and study their poop and study their blood, and and these guys are like saying that it's worthless. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're in a spine plays this line of if we cross the wrong way, we will fucking go right downhill right fast. You know.
Yeah.
You, you know. It's a lot of people in the world, and unfortunately, we are not equipped to take care of ourselves like in old days, the tribal days, clan days. We don't
No, definitely not.
We don't understand that word. We understand grocery stores. We understand, especially here in America, we understand roads. Those roads and lights, artificial light, where they're guiding us. They don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be controlled by the government, but we're controlled by these lights that take us straight to Walmart.
Exactly.
That's okay. Take a road off of the equation or everywhere, half of the population will be in a ditch,
Right.
Yeah, believe me, I would love to go back to the old days, but I need diabetes medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I need like this. Yeah, you can help your diet. You can do this, but you can do that. Yeah, you can, but everything's unhealthy now. The Wetiko is taking its place in every aspect of life. The virus. Yeah, that's the Wetiko, man. That's what it's about. In the end, that's what it's about. It's this darkness that we created. There's a spirit to it, of course, but we don't understand the spirit. So let's just leave that out of the equation. We don't understand it, but we do understand what the we do is a cause and effect. All right, I'm done talking. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think that was certainly enlightening and will open the minds of some people.
Blew my mind.
Make it that.
But I have another question. So, Jody, I know you watched it. I don't know if you watched it, Joe. It was scientists reveal quantum computers are tearing apart reality.
Yeah.
The video sent me, but I do know stuff about the topic.
Okay, good. Because I wanted to talk about, what do you guys think of that?
Well, quantum, that's the next, that's where we have to go. That's where technology has to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's nowhere else it can go. It's stopped. We're not augmented. We're just making imagery and pixels look better. And
right.
The AI and quantum physics. Quantum physics is gonna help AI. Because there's only so much you can just take a database and feed it information. There's only so much you can go to be a sentient being or something that's gonna be conscious of itself. It's gonna take quantum physics.
So do you think it's possible that it actually is affecting reality?
Everything humans do is a reality. We affect everything we do is affect a reality. Yeah, and that's what we do. We're reality shifters. We emulate the spirit of shapeless.
Right.
And then we give shape and form to our imagination, with our imagination, our will, and our intent. And then we create and we change reality. 1,000 years ago, it's another reality. And we came and we created a reality on top of the real world. Yeah. Scientists notice it's through just our minds and the fire and the brain. It's like the light, it radiate, and our eyes affect yeast molecules when we gaze upon something. That's quantum physics.
Yeah.
So quantum physics talks about the two-slit experiment. You ever read about quantum physics when it talks about the mysterious thing about atoms? That's where it started. The quantum physics started with the two-slit experiment. That's where the quantum physics started. Is when they shot atoms through slits, and they observed what it would do in pattern-wise on the other side of the slits.
Oh, I think I did see a video about that.
Yeah, and that's where quantum physics started.
Okay.
In that experiment. So what happened was, the moment that they seen that the patterns were happening, they would think it would be until they a camera on it. So they so they observed it closely, and then it shifted and changed mysteriously.
Yes. Yeah.
So our gaze upon it, our will and intent, is not only goes through our minds, our eyes personally, it also goes through the machine that we create.
Right.
They put cameras on it, and the cameras affected the molecules, like our eyes affected these molecules. You know, when we gaze upon things, we burn reality.
Wow.
That is so trippy.
Yeah,
I know.
because that's like I said, that's what the mighty Thor is. Mighty Thor is lightning, thunder. You know, it's like the thunder and the lightning is inside the mind. You know, and that's what makes you powerful. It's lightning in there. It's like synapses and firing off, and your ideas, your concepts, and then you're like Superman. That light is going through your eyes is connected, and it burns yeast molecules. It's slight, but it does.
Yeah.
I read it somewhere. Like fascinating. I'm like, that's pretty cool. We really do have X-ray vision. It's nothing under the sun that we do that's not real. Everything's real. And my wife, she looking stuff online, is all fake and it's all real. It's a contradicting thing. It's almost confusing to us if you don't understand spirit. That and something could be fake and real at the same time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. When we're looking at things online, it's real, but it's fake. Somebody could create it.
Yeah.
Christians would say it's demonic, right? So let's take it's demonic. Let's take a Christian step in it. It'll be like the demon cannot manifest itself in our reality as a form. It can only go through our imagination. So through our imagination, we create the imagery of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we create these things online. We create these things, and it influences us. Now they even call it influencers and stuff like that. It influences us. It programs us to believe in it. It tells us it's there. The spirit's there. It's scary. It's there all the time, looking at us, watching us, through us.
Well, and I think thinking about something a lot invites it.
Yes, yep. It'll invite it. We talked about hauntings,
Yep.
It'll invite it in. You can't escape it. You'll take it with you. Wherever you go. Of course, I mean, there's spirit feeling everywhere you go. It's going to be spirit. Of course, it's going to
attach itself to you.
Yes, energy everywhere. Everywhere in you, everything's energy. Everything. So we don't know how that works either. We just understand it's there. So we don't understand how our movements through it because we're conscious, and or other animals and beings on Earth, or how it takes place, or where it's at when it's not there anymore. Its energy is always there. So we could be living in all kinds. I love sci-fi. We could be living in many kinds at once.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it seems like it.
I know.
Yeah, it does. But that's our imagination, and it's because we are living in different realities at once.
True.
We're literally talking about, ancient ways at the same time we're living in this modern world. But the ancient way could come back at any moment in time and be reset by an asteroid hitting the Earth. We're reset. It's reset. The Earth reset itself. And we go back to worshiping the sun again.
Right.
Everybody forget about who Jesus Christ is. And then we just go back to worshiping the biggest thing that we can see in the sky, and it's the sun. Go right back to that. Go right back, like remember in Fight Club, in the middle of a super highway, skinning a deer skin.
Right.
Back to the old ways. Yeah.
I never saw Fight Club, but I heard about it.
I saw it years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most
it's an
people have
awesome
seen
movie.
it.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, it's good. I love the ending.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, you were quoting Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Yes. What was that quote?
I'm appetite, nothing more.
Ah, yes. Okay.
An appetite, nothing more.
Nothing more. Okay. I've yet to see that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. But I'm a big Nosferatu fan.
Are you? Okay. Ah, there you go. Nice.
I love Nosferatu. Yeah, ever since
I did see an interesting movie called The Substance with Demi Moore.
Oh, we watched that. That was awesome. Yeah,
That was awesome.
I still haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I love horror.
Me too. It's pretty gory, but the point of it is to be gory.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's definitely a good message in it. You know,
right?
But a deep message.
Right. It is. She was excellent in it. Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, we watched that. The Wolfman. We watched too.
Yeah, I saw that with my mom. We went to see that.
Yeah, and I love that.
Wasn't...
You know, I liked it because I liked the transformation. You know, but yeah, horror. That's why I like horror. It depicts the dark side of humanity. And it's you could really pull apart horror. You know,
yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
The best werewolf horror movie for me was The Howling. That was a great transformation.
And John Dante. Yeah, the guy who directed Gremlins directed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That terrified me. I'm not really into Wolfman movies. That one terrified me.
Oh, I love the Wolfman movies.
Those were good.
Yeah. Howling was awesome. American Werewolf in London.
Oh yeah, I love those.
You know, what's another one was really good?
Cursed.
What's that? Cursed was good.
Wait.
Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps is awesome.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ginger Snaps was awesome. That's a good good Jack Nicholson. Woof.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh man, that's a really good one, man.
Yeah.
What is the Underworld?
Underworld.
Okay.
I mean,
That was different.
Yeah. Those are enjoyable for its time. I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it came out, there was like the Lycans versus the vampires kind of thing.
Yeah.
They were good for what it was worth, you know.
Yeah.
But they're not timeless. Not like you know, Wolfman stuff like, you know, the Howling, the best, probably the best. I think Howling, best werewolf.
I like I'm really into demonic movies. I like The Exorcist.
Oh yeah,
it's my all-time favorite movie.
Okay. Have you seen? I love those movies too, but I'm picky because they've gotten so many of them, and they're all placed.
Right.
But it's called What Evil Lurks.
That sounds familiar.
Ooh.
Dude, that's one of the greatest exorcism movies I have seen.
Okay.
Ooh, I'll have to look for that one.
Yes. Yes. You have to check this movie out. It's out of Argentina, and it has its own universe. So it's already established in this universe that the world's been infected. You know, demonic impression.
Okay.
You know, it takes place in the countryside. So the countryside is like, oh, this shit just happens, and it doesn't happen over here. It happens in big cities. Kind of thing. So it happens that something happens in their town, you know, and they have to call on the exorcists, where they call like cleaners or something like that, and they have to go through a certain type of ritual, because the body of the infected, of the demonic infection, it blows up and it opens a portal.
Oh wow, that does sound good.
Yeah. So it has a specific ritual to close the doorway, you know, and if you kill the body before they do that, thinking that you can stop it, it opens it up. Or no, it sets it free, the demon, to jump around and find a new host. You know?
Wow.
It's called When Evil Lurks.
When Evil Lurks.
And it's an Argentine movie?
Yeah, it's Argentine.
Okay.
It's by the director. That director also does a lot of good movies.
Huh. M. Night had a good one called Devil, where they were in an elevator.
Oh, yeah, in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all there for a reason. That's what I love. There was a reason for all them being there. They were brought together.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh,
When
okay.
Evil Lurks. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I'm
Evil
going to look for that.
When Evil Lurks, yeah.
I find a lot of the foreign horror movies to be better.
Of course. Of course. They're not bound by we have restrictions. We have restrictions in our culture.
Yeah.
That even if you don't see them, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually dictated by money. Money,
Yeah.
control, that kind of control through
Right.
money. Through executive producing and stuff like that, and all that shit. All those layers of making a film and producing artwork. It has to line up with what's profitable and what this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many years ago, and I can't remember the name of this movie, but it was actually another exorcism movie, and it was British. And what I like about the British one, it makes it seem like everyday people.
Yeah.
And it took, like, you're like, oh, because you're like, oh, this person doesn't seem like they're possessed.
Yeah, they seem like
until the very end.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
And then,
Ordinary.
yes. Yeah. I also like the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are fun.
The one's coming out in September, and it's supposed to be like the last one.
Oh, yeah, they say that.
When it's coming, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think, and there was the movie Veronica.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, it has subtitles.
Okay.
It was on Netflix many years ago. You could probably find it anywhere. And they were touting it as the scariest horror movie ever, but it wasn't. I will say it wasn't. But it was very well done.
Huh. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to write that one down as well.
Yeah.
But people, I'm going to have to go.
Okay. But thank you for being on.
Oh, for
yes,
sure.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes.
And
fascinating.
I will get Brian on with you soon.
Okay, cool.
He is interested in that.
Cool.
So
Hi, soon.
I will.
Yes. All right,
I will.
One.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, we'll have you on again soon.
Sure.